The power to choose is the foundation of every transformation, the origin of every journey, and the reason that some people rise from impossible circumstances while others remain trapped in the same place for years. Life doesn't just happen to us. We happen to life. Every moment, every breath presents a crossroads. Sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it's loud and clear, but it's always there. The choice between growth and stagnation, between courage and fear, between purpose and procrastination. The truth is, most people surrender that power without even realizing it. They hand it over to their past, to their trauma, to other people's opinions, to fear disguised as logic, and then they wonder why their life looks like a shadow of their potential. The most dangerous lie you can believe is that you are powerless, that someone else has to give you permission to live fully, love boldly, fight fiercely. The truth is, no one is coming. No rescuer is on the way. And that's not a reason to panic. That's the greatest news you'll ever hear. Because it means that everything you've been waiting for has been inside you this whole time. Waiting for you to stop doubting. Waiting for you to choose. Waiting for you to rise. Too many people are living on autopilot, drifting through life like passengers instead of drivers. They've been so hurt, so rejected, so worn down that they no longer believe their decisions matter. They've forgotten the weight of their own influence. But the most radical thing you can do in a world that tries to control your thoughts, your worth, and your direction is to take full responsibility. To wake up and declare, I choose how I show up today. I choose how I respond to chaos. I choose how I handle failure. I choose to evolve, even when it's hard. I choose to fight for my future, even when my past is calling me back. This isn't about ignoring pain. It's about not being owned by it. Because you can't choose what happens to you, but you can always choose what you do with it. That moment, right after life knocks you down, that breath between the heartbreak and the breakthrough, that's the moment that defines you. Not the pain, not the loss, not the rejection, but what you choose to do next. That's where power lives, not in perfect conditions, but in the chaos. In the moments when everything screams, give up, and something deep inside you whispers, get up. Every successful person, every warrior, every leader you've ever admired, they all had that moment. The moment when the crowd stopped clapping, when the lights went out, when no one believed and they had to choose belief for themselves. That's the moment when identity is forged, when grit is born. And that moment is available to you too. Not someday, not when you feel ready, but right now. Choosing your life means accepting that some doors will close. It means saying no to easy, to average, to fitting in. It means becoming accountable for your future. It means not waiting for clarity before taking action. Most people want the path before they take the step, but the path only reveals itself to those who walk. Faith is a decision, not a feeling. Action is the evidence of that faith. So what are you choosing today? What thoughts are you feeding? What excuses are you tolerating? What patterns are you justifying? Your life is a reflection of your patterns of choice, and the beautiful, terrifying truth is this: nothing changes until you do. Not the economy, not your friends, not your family, not the culture. Only you. And that's why the greatest act of defiance is to own your choices. To say, I don't care where I came from, I care where I'm going. To say, I'm not waiting for someone to fix me, rescue me, or give me permission. I've already got what I need, I just need to use it. This isn't about pretending life is easy. It's about embracing the hard as part of the calling. It's about realizing that the pressure you feel is the same pressure that forms diamonds. That resistance isn't a sign to quit. It's a sign that you're growing. That the discomfort you feel is not punishment, it's preparation. The storm isn't there to destroy you. It's there to strip away the lies so you can finally meet the version of you that was buried underneath fear. Every time you choose to keep going, you're building something invisible. You're building character. You're building resilience. You're building vision. Even when no one sees it, even when there's no applause, even when doubt creeps in, you're building. And one day, That choice to keep showing up will become the very reason you're able to walk through doors others only dream of. Because you didn't wait, you didn't blame, you chose. Choice is your power. It's not glamorous, it's not Instagrammable, but it's the reason people with nothing build empires. It's the reason broken hearts heal and become whole again. It's the reason rock bottoms become rebirths. The moment you decide that your circumstances don't define you, that your past isn't your future, that your mistakes are your mentors, that's the moment everything changes. Not instantly, not magically, but permanently. Because a decision rooted in truth is more powerful than a lifetime of wishing. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need all the answers. You just need the courage to take the next step, and then the next, and then the next. Progress isn't about leaps, it's about consistency. It's about waking up and choosing to be 1% better. It's about falling and getting back up, not because you feel strong, but because you made a promise to yourself. And you keep that promise. Not because it's easy, but because it's right. The world will try to tell you who you are. Life will try to define you by what's happened to you. But the greatest revolution starts with a whisper in your soul that says, I get to choose. Choose to forgive. Choose to grow. Choose to break the cycle. Choose to speak life. Choose to believe again. Choose to build a future that looks nothing like your past. You don't need a miracle. You are the miracle. And it all begins with one courageous, defiant, unwavering choice. You don't need permission to become great. That idea that someone out there has to say you're ready before you take your first step is a lie that keeps too many people stuck. Stuck in hesitation, stuck in fear, stuck waiting for a green light that will never come. The world won't tap you on the shoulder and say, now is your time. You have to choose your moment. You have to decide that your time is now, whether or not the world agrees. The people who change the game don't wait for validation. They move, they act, they break the mold simply because they were willing to step out before it was acceptable. There's a voice inside every one of us that whispers the truth. It says, you were made for more, but most people never act on it. They silence that voice with distraction, with doubt, with excuses disguised as logic. They convince themselves that they're not smart enough, not skilled enough, not connected enough. But the truth is, most of them just haven't decided to believe that enough lives inside them. You don't get clarity and confidence from sitting still. You find it when you get moving, when you take the leap, even though your legs are shaking. The most powerful transformations happen when you stop asking for someone to let you in and start building the door yourself. Doors aren't always found, they're forged. They're built in silence, far from applause. No camera is rolling, no one's posting about it. It's just you, your grind, and the belief that what you're doing matters even if no one sees it yet. It's not glamorous, it's not easy, but that's where greatness is born. Not in comfort, not in crowds, but in courage. The quiet kind of courage that shows up before recognition ever arrives. Most people are obsessed with being accepted. They water down their vision, their passion, their edge, just to fit into a system that was never designed to celebrate originality. You weren't born to blend in. You weren't made to follow a script, you were made to write one. The fire inside you doesn't need approval, it needs oxygen, it needs action. The moment you stop waiting for people to understand your mission and start walking in it anyway, that's the moment the game changes. It's time to stop negotiating with fear. Fear doesn't get a vote. It doesn't sit at the table where your destiny is written. Fear will always ask for more time, more preparation, more permission. But faith says, go now. Faith isn't about certainty, it's about movement. It's about trusting that every step you take forward, even when it's shaky, will teach you more than standing still ever could. And those steps? That's where momentum begins. And momentum is how you outrun the voice in your head that says you're not ready. Readiness is a lie. Nobody ever feels fully ready. The people who are out there making moves, breaking barriers, and creating legacy, they felt just as unprepared as you do. The difference? They didn't wait to feel ready. They acted. They showed up. They fell, they failed, they got back up, again and again, and eventually they realized something simple but powerful. Action breeds belief. The more you move, the more you start to believe in your ability to keep moving. It's a cycle, and it starts with one bold decision: to move without permission. Stop playing small because you're worried someone might criticize you. Newsflash: they will. People will always have something to say. Let them talk. Let them judge. Let them doubt. That's not your concern. You're not building your life on their comfort zone. You're building it on your calling. And if that means walking alone for a while, so be it. If that means being misunderstood, so be it. Better to be misunderstood while building something real than to be accepted while doing nothing meaningful. You weren't born to exist in the background of your own life. You weren't designed to spectate while others rise. There is a stage, with your name on it, but you don't wait for someone to announce you. You step on it, you own it. You perform like the audience doesn't matter, because in truth it doesn't. What matters is that you're showing up fully, every day, in every room, in every conversation, as the version of you that no longer waits for permission to shine. People will try to define you by your past. Don't let them. People will try to limit you with their own fears. Don't accept it. You are not who you were last year. You are not who you were last month. You are who you choose to become right now, today. And that version of you, the one who acts boldly, speaks truth, builds relentlessly, that version doesn't apologize for growing. That version knows that greatness isn't something you stumble into. It's something you build when the world isn't watching. Success doesn't respond to hesitation. It responds to hunger. And hunger is louder than fear. Hunger says, I'll show up even if I fail. Hunger says, I'll keep going even if no one claps. Hunger is what keeps you grinding at 5 a.m., studying when everyone else is sleeping, believing when it makes no sense to believe. That's what greatness is made of. Not comfort, not applause, not convenience, but hunger. Relentless, unapologetic hunger. So if you're waiting for the perfect sign, this is it. If you're waiting for a mentor to validate your path, understand that the most powerful leaders had to lead themselves first. If you're waiting for a breakthrough moment to prove you belong, realize that the moment you decide to go all in is the breakthrough. You become undeniable not by being perfect, but by refusing to quit. You don't rise by being approved. You rise by being obsessed. Obsessed with purpose. Obsessed with growth. Obsessed with refusing to die with your potential still inside you. That fire inside you? It's not random. It's not meaningless. It's calling you. Not softly, not quietly, but fiercely. And it will keep burning until you decide to answer. So stop waiting. Stop shrinking. Stop holding back what was meant to shake the ground. The time for permission is over. The time for power is now. You weren't born to settle. There's something deep within that knows you were built for more. That fire in your chest, that ache that stirs when you see greatness in others, is not envy. It's a reminder that you're capable. A reminder that something powerful lives inside you, and it's tired of being quiet. Every time you ignore it, a little piece of your potential dims, but it never dies. It waits. It waits for the moment you stop making excuses. It waits for the moment you get tired of being average. And when that moment comes, everything changes. You have to understand something. This world will not hand you anything. It doesn't reward intentions. It doesn't applaud plans that never see daylight. It only responds to those who act, to those who step forward even when their legs shake, to those who stop blaming, stop wishing, and start building. Settling isn't a state of circumstances, it's a decision, one that slowly steals your fire without you even noticing. First, it takes your curiosity, then your courage, and eventually your sense of purpose. The people who rise don't wait for life to calm down. They rise in the storm. They build while everything around them crumbles. They move when it's uncomfortable. Because comfort is a cage. It's the enemy of greatness. It whispers, "This is good enough." It tells you to play it safe, to wait until you're ready. But ready never comes. Not for those who wait, only for those who act. Because action creates readiness. Discipline builds confidence. And courage is born in motion. Too many people spend years thinking they're stuck, when really they're just scared. Scared to fail. Scared to look foolish. Scared to lose what little comfort they've built. But what they don't see is that fear has already taken more than failure ever could. Fear has stolen their dreams, their voice, their edge. And now they walk around half alive, scrolling through the highlights of others, wondering why they feel empty. It's not because they don't have potential. It's because they've buried it under a mountain of distractions and excuses. But there's a choice to be made, a line to be drawn. And that line is the moment you say, I refuse to settle. That's the moment the climb begins. It's not glamorous, it's not loud. It's brutal, it's lonely. It's early mornings and late nights, it's silence instead of applause. But those who endure it, those who bleed in the shadows, will shine in the light. Because greatness isn't found in the spotlight. It's built when no one's watching. There's going to be pain, that's guaranteed. But you get to choose the kind of pain you live with. The pain of growth or the pain of regret. One stretches you. One shrinks you. One breaks you open so you can race. The other breaks you down until you feel like a stranger in your own life. Don't let time make your decisions for you. Don't let days turn into years while you wait for someone to rescue you. No one's coming. But that's the best news. Because it means you're in control. It means you hold the pen. And today can be the day you write a new story. Start where you are, with what you have. You don't need a perfect plan. You need action, movement, momentum. You'll learn as you go. You'll fall, yes, but falling isn't failing. It's refining. It's necessary. It's where resilience is born. Every person who ever did something great was once unqualified, uncertain, and unseen. What separated them wasn't talent. It was hunger. It was an unshakable belief that their life mattered, that their voice mattered, that their work mattered. And because they believed it, they kept moving, even when no one else did. Stop playing small to make others comfortable. Stop pretending you're fine with a life that doesn't set your soul on fire. Stop waiting for validation from people who don't even understand your vision. You weren't meant to blend in. You weren't meant to be liked by everyone. You were meant to build something bold, something that shakes people awake, something that makes this world just a little more alive because you had the courage to rise. There's a war being fought every day inside you. The battle between who you are and who you're becoming. Between your doubts and your destiny. And every decision you make pushes one side forward. Feed the doubt and you'll stay where you are. Feed the discipline and you'll evolve. Growth doesn't feel good in the moment. It feels like loss, like sacrifice. But on the other side of that discomfort is the life you've been chasing in your mind. And it's not reserved for the lucky. It's waiting for the relentless. You weren't born to settle for a job you hate, a life that drains you, or a version of yourself that barely recognizes your own potential. You were born to build, to create, to lead, to love hard, fight hard, and live fully. And if that requires shedding old identities, losing relationships, and stepping into the unknown, then so be it. Because the version of you on the other side of that process isn't just stronger. They're unstoppable. They're untouchable. Because they've been through the fire and came out forged, not burned. So now the question is simple. Will you stay in the cage of comfort, or will you rise into the life that's calling you? One road is paved with ease and emptiness. The other is steep, rugged, and filled with resistance. But it leads somewhere real. Somewhere fulfilling, somewhere honest. You know the answer. You've always known. That fire in your gut isn't confusion, it's clarity. It's your future asking you to fight for it. It's not too late, it's never too late. Every day you wake up is another shot, another round, another choice. And when you stop settling, when you start moving like your life depends on it, because it does, everything changes, the world shifts, the doors open. But none of it happens until you make that first, terrifying, beautiful decision to rise.